Hi everyone, this is Phoenix from StarParty. I'm sorry for my bad English. So, everything you will see here is not final. This is a work in progress, and I'm going to show you the dynamic terrain editor that we are using to create terrains for StarParty. First is the doodad editor. You will have a list of all the actors, or the doodads if you prefer. You have also a search box, so if you want all Iguria stuff with trees, I will go with the higher Protoss building. In this editor, you can place them just like if you was in the Galaxy editor. You can also change its height and tilt it. You can also change the scale in all the way you want and change the color or the tint which within HDR. This is the terrain editor. You can change the variation, you can change the 3D rotation, pitch, roll, yaw, you can change the scale, the color, and you can also set random stuff, like the tree. So they have different scale, rotation, and variation. The dynamic terrain editor is useful because you can save the terrain and load them while in-game. So all the terrains are saved in a bank file, and this allows us to create basically infinite amount of terrains and load them dynamically, so we can make infinite amount of minigames if we want. Let's save our terrain as test 1. Test 1 is saved as doodad because we are in the doodad editor. Let's clear. I have also a terrain named city doodad. This is a terrain I made for StarParty that used to be for a board. However, it had so much doodads it was actually laggy when it was loaded. Some low-end computer had a lot of difficulties to load it rapidly. So this is an example of terrains you can make. You can make whatever you want. And this was made in an older version of the dynamic terrain editor, so it did not have all the color and the pitch and roll stuff. And this terrain also have a board. A board is something you can create with this editor. Here's how it works. Let's clear the board, clear the doodads, and go back to the board. You add viewpoints, and you can see the arrows pointing which way it will connect to. This is automatically connecting. When you're done, the first point you set is linked to none, so you have to link it to another point. Let's link it to the last one. So now it's doing a full rotation. Let's set this point the start space. Start space is the place where you start. So if I do test board, which is a command for now but it will be a button somewhere eventually, it is where you start and you can roll. And when it stops, it gives 30 minerals because it lands on a blue square, blue point. All these are the events that happens during a board, such as the bank, such as teleporter, the gate, the item shop. All these are there. And here's how it works. Let's select this point. I will set it to yellow. And let's make add item. So it has the land event and the pass event. When you land on it, this happens. When you just pass it, this happens. Let's go with modify points. All events works with the event data. Event data is the string used to make the event works. So modify points just use a simple number, such as 50. 50 is the number of minerals it gives to the player. If you set it to -50, it will remove 50 minerals from the player. Test board. So when you pass it, it removes 50 minerals. And if we want, let's do branching path. This is when you have the choice to select between two paths. The branching path works with setting all the possible points. By default, the next point is one of the possibilities. So this point is the waypoint tree. So it's the ID tree. So if we do tree, it will select between the next one here and this one. So if we do test board, that number is bugged. You can select between these two, this point or this one, and then it will keep going on. You have the whole list of how it works and how to set it in the event data here. But this will have a specific UI for it eventually. The next part is the terrain cell editor. The terrain cell editor is something where you place rings to hide cells. These rings are invisible when you load the terrain. But what is not invisible is the terrain cells that are hide. You can also use 1x1 blockers to create walls. So this will create a wall. And 2x2 and 3x3 blockers. I also want to create a creep generator in this thing. So you will be able to place creep in a circle, just like the hide cells. The next part is the point editor. The point editor is something we use specifically for the StarParty developers, but I'll show you still. Basically, you place points. These points are stored in a variable that we can use in the main map. And we can also rename the points, such as test1. This is very useful, so when you create a terrain, you can set specific points in that terrain and use them in the triggers. Because when you are in the galaxy editor in the triggers, you do not see the terrain because it is loaded dynamically. Other than this, there's the lighting. The lighting so it just goes core hall. Let's scale this down. Oh boy. So this is under cells. So we can create stuff under the terrain, which is pretty cool. Another thing about the terrain editor is that Because it's in a map, it means many players could be working at the same time on the same terrain. So you can be you and your friends creating a terrain all at the same time. So this is the terrain editor. I hope you enjoyed, and see you soon in StarParty.